Okay guys, welcome back. It's raining today and I just wanted to do a comparison test. This is a bin that has a lid flipped over and it's raining, and you can see that there's some water pooling here on the top, which is okay, but some of this pooling hopefully will run off into channels that don't have any holes in them. Some of them of course have holes, and you're going to get water in on those little channels, like this one here. That contained channel is going to get rain, but gosh, the rest of the squares hopefully will run off into these channels on the side here, right? And you can kind of see what's going on here. The channels are filling up with water and all sorts of, leaves and things that have rinsed off the top, which is good. And then they run to the back here and pool, come around to find the lowest, hopefully the lowest spot. Let's see if I can show you. And it seems to be dripping pretty vigorously here from the lowest spot. I thought maybe it would just run back in the tank. It would kind of be like a gutter and comes underneath, and capillary action or whatever it's called will just pull it back in. But no, it's dripping. It's definitely finding its way out. Ooh, that's perfect. Hold on. I'm gonna just try to get this perfect for you. So if I show you where it's dripping, you can kind of see it there. It's dripping pretty vigorously. So I think these do kind of work. I mean, there's definitely, if I push down on it just a little, you can see, whoa, it really starts dripping out. That's all lid water that would have gone in the tank into the bin. So it's collecting here slowly. You can kind of see the little pool, and it's coming out and it's going down into the ground. So I guess the lids do work. So in terms of these lids, remember I have these pieces of cheap wood here just holding it because the bins will bow out with the pressure of the water. I'm just going to try to make a couple of these a little better, so that I don't have to always have two pieces laying around. Because this is kind of an important concept. See here, the lids are not flipped. The water's going straight down. Let's see over here. Here's an example of one I haven't put in service yet, but you can kind of see that the rain will go straight on into that tank, right? Now, one negative about flipping the lids is sometimes they warp. This tank is not in service, but some of that is going to go to the side, of course, but if it warps too much, you're going to puddle, and it's going to try to go to the lowest point eventually. Let's see, we push this down more. See, it's starting to drip in. So one thing you could try to do to prevent that is put a supporting brace in the middle of your tank, just right there in the middle, and kind of tent it up. Again, if they warp, you might have to flip them over for a season. That might be the easiest way though, because I don't really like putting supports in my tanks if I don't have to. It's just more complicated. So if you do have a warped lid, you're probably going to have to flip it back over this way for the rest of the season and rewarp it the other way. But most of these yellow lids that I've flipped over have not warped. The other thing I do want to mention is you can get these cups. You can 3D print them to the size that you need so that they will fill up the channel and not let water through. These are too big, these holes, to do that. But if you were able to do this, and every single one had this kind of cup in it, of these smaller holes, even though the lid is flipped the wrong way for shedding water, I've noticed that the water pools and it won't go into the holes because these are screwed in so tight that it just collects, and you'll get like an inch of rain, and then you can dump the whole lid over. So I guess that's another option, is try to find cups that you almost have to like twist in, and then there's almost no way water can get in. Now, I'm not sure that's going to work 100%, but it seemed to work last time it rained heavy. I got about an inch of rain I poured off. You could do the same thing with the yellow lids here. See how I've got these kind of screwed in? And that will, now if you have a couple of these, it kind of negates the whole concept. But you could also make cups that screw in here, so that way you don't really have any openings in your lid at all. And if you're not using the holes, you could even put something over it. You know, you could like have a cap. Here's an example. This is just I think something in a restaurant for ketchup or soy sauce or something, but look at this. This fits pretty nice. It blocks off all the water getting in. And look at this. It's got a cap. I mean, I have not put this in service or cut a hole in it, but I thought it was kind of a cool concept if you want to block a hole up. Anyway, I hope some of those ideas help a little bit. Rain is a problem. It can flood out your air roots. Well, this is kind of my resuscitation tank for the ones who didn't make it in the other tanks. This one here is a lettuce, and it had bad root rot, so I pulled all that black. I just took my finger and I just kind of did a groom session, you know, and I just kind of groomed off the dead roots away, and I just kind of did that. And now look, it's growing back fresh roots. So I think this one's going to make it. Okay, can you see some of these roots? Some of these roots are air roots. See this one sticking straight out? He's getting air. And then the tap root at the bottom, and some of the other tap roots like you see back here, they're definitely down in the water, right? But some of them are air roots, and they kind of look different. If you see how they're a little different than these nice water roots. Maybe if you go way up in the top here, see these nice water roots going down deep. But mixed in toward the top are these air roots. And if you get a lot of rain, the water will go up and flood out your air roots. I think that's an important concept that I just wanted to cover, is that, you know, outdoor hydroponic gardening has lots of challenges. One of them is trying to guard your air roots from getting flooded out with rain. Oh, here's one more solution, guys, for rain, is you can just use some kind of bin and put it over top of your bin. If it fits perfectly, that's the best. I mean, obviously there's a lot of rain here. I'm just going to shed this off and show you how this bin prevented it from going into the tank. Look at this. If you have cracked old bins like we've got here, you know, different bins that are all good. Some of these have cracked and I've repaired them, but as they get unrepairable, I'm not going to throw them out, or the lids themselves actually. I'm just going to flip them over and kind of find a way to protect these tanks with a covering from heavy rain. If the forecast says we're going to get 1 inch of rain, I'm going to do something. If we're only going to get, you know, 1/4 inch, I'm not going to worry about it. You could put a tarp over it. I guess that would be another option. I haven't explored that. And the further option is, you know, build some kind of shade platform that has kind of a curtain system over the whole fence and just kind of bring it out about 4 feet. And that way you have kind of like a pergola system where you have either shade cloth for August, July when it's really hot, or you have something you could put that's waterproof, like a tarp or some kind of waterproof barrier instead of shade cloth, so that the rain would not go directly in the tanks. So there's all sorts of ideas. Those are a little bit more complicated. If you have any great ideas, please leave them in the comments. All right, guys, I'm certainly no master carpenter, but you put a little tight bond between 2 boards, put a screw down to kind of clamp it together, and then you can perhaps not have to always try to find a matching pair that would go in here. So you just kind of push that down and bam. Hopefully those will work a little better here. Okay, guys, these little supports have been glued up and dried overnight, and I think they're back in action and ready to go. Should be a lot easier because when you pull them out, the whole thing doesn't come apart. Just a lot easier to deal with. Here's a couple more. I'm not going to do it for every single bin. I'm going to compare a few lids that are flipped this way. See how much easier this is now. Just slide it back in there. And boom, you got it. You don't always have to play around. So I'd recommend do something like that. Cheap, easy fix. Hey, Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you got something out of these videos, and have a great day.